Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
So, the tea in the streets today, we talk about pop culture things a lot of times, but we also don't want to neglect the serious things that are going on in the world.
Yes.
And so something very tragic happened on Thursday. A school, if you want to put up the, we're going to play a quick video for you guys and then we'll kind of talk about it.
Yeah.
Of those that are deceased, 2 are students and 2 are teachers here at the school. The shooter is in custody. His name is Colt, that's C-O-L-T, Gray. He is a 14-year-old student here at the school, G-R-A-Y. He will be charged with murder and he will be tried as an adult.
All righty.
Yes. So we just watched a video. It was hard to pick what video because obviously I don't want to trigger anybody. I wanted to keep it as PC as possible in all of this. But there was
definitely want to have a conversation.
We definitely want to have a conversation. There was another school shooting, unfortunately, in Georgia. For the last time I looked at it, it was 4 fatalities and 4 injuries. And of the fatalities, 3 of them were children. So
I think the thing that, and reason why I really wanted us to have this discussion is that, you know, we keep playing around with this gun law, doing something to get these guns under control. You know, in other countries, the gun laws are much stricter than they are here. And so we are supposed to be leading the world. And it makes me question what's really happening here other than money. Because what other reason that we can't have more restrictions on guns? We're not here to take anyone's guns away. So that's lame. You guys are being fed by the lobbyists. Let's start talking about the children and the innocent people that are being affected. Why would a 14-year-old child need automatic weapon? And his father purchased it for him. So let's just, you can't use the excuse you're hunting. You can't hunt with a automatic weapon. It's whatever you shoot, you shoot, you can't even eat it because it's just torn apart. So guys, I want to have your opinion on it. Let's talk about it.
Hey, Quentin, come on, jump on in. I want to hear from you.
I honestly feel that when it comes to the gun restriction, I feel it's going to end up being like the prohibition. Like, just as much as they put a restriction on alcohol, somehow alcohol managed to still get sold. So I feel like for some odd reason, as much restriction as you would put on something, like now people can get more creative to how to produce it. And unfortunately, now that pop culture is kind of putting how accessible these weapons are, it makes our youth feel as if they need to have something like this. And granted, going back into the entitlement, nobody's looking for you. You're a 15-year-old. You're not infamous. You're not John Gotti. You're not some big name. You're 14.
Yeah.
Like, even when they wear the face mask, nobody's looking for you.
Nobody.
If you start no mess, there'll be no mess. Like, there's
it's ironic that you spoke of that, because it speaks to the esteem of the younger people that are living today. I mean, what is going on mentally? Everybody just feel like they have to
be tough or get back at someone.
And go into the extremes.
Well, I think part of it is, and please jump in on this. I think part of it is social media. I think people, this younger generation, is so hooked into their phones and what's happening out there, or what they think is happening versus what is really happening. People are showing them what they want them to see. So I think in our era, when we came up, we had to get out and engage
Mhm.
and talk and play and have fun with the people. And then we had a sense of fear. This generation, in my opinion, don't fear as much. We feared doing something, at least I did, and having to deal with my mother and father, you know, for being disrespectful. They'll just be disrespectful right in your face.
Mhm.
I wanted to add to the social media comment. If you, I just want to, because I think part of that too is you hear about these influencers, right? And they have 1 million followers. We actually just hit like 80,000 subscribers,
Yes.
right? And you think about that and you're like,
Nice plug.
right. Nice little plug in there.
Nice little plug.
I think you see people as numbers, right? And so even with the 80,000, right, we're like, oh, but it's so close to 100,000. We want more, right?
Yeah.
But do you know 80,000 people?
Right.
Do you even know 80 people? Like really know them?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, just say 8. Do you really know 8 people?
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I think, unfortunately, we have access to so much information. Like I see so, and especially because I do this for work too, right? I see so much content all day long, the same stuff. And, you know, mixed in that is some really dark stuff
Yes.
on Twitter, like easily accessible. Children can be on this app, like just really dark stuff just on apps like that. And so
Yeah.
I think we become desensitized not only to human lives because we see them as a number,
Oh, wow. Yeah,
right? Because
that's
even
good.
this shooting compared to other ones, right? Most people would say, well, I'm not saying this, but some people might think, oh, well, it's only 4. Only 4? Think about 4 people close to you in a
Exactly.
community.
Exactly.
That's so much more than, you know, even though it may not seem like, you know, there are other ones, or maybe it was 20 or 30 or whatever. Every life matters.
And I think what I'm hearing you say, which is so true, people are becoming so desensitized with what is real, what's real and what's not real.
Yeah.
These are human beings.
Even people
Right.
who aren't the aggressors, right? Even as like consumers of media and news and stuff,
Right.
you're like, there's another one.
And they pass
There's
on.
another
They move
one.
on.
Right.
You have to protect yourself.
Yeah.
You can't like, you know.
Let me say this one thing here. Bullies been around forever.
Yeah.
You know, we had bullies in school when I was in school back in the 60s and 70s. I know y'all wasn't even thought of at that time. But you know, when the bully, you know, back in our day,
Right.
the bully say 3 o'clock.
He meant 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock is gonna be these knuckles in your eyes.
He meant
So
that.
you had to make a decision whether you was gonna run or you was gonna face the bully.
Yeah.
Right.
And most of
Right.
the time, if you ran home, your dad would be there, and then he'd say, "You
going back and deal-
you gonna fight me, or you gonna fight him?"
Yeah.
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 And so we
Yeah,
didn't have
definitely.
time to be afraid of the bully. We had to go back and face the giant. You know,
Mm-hmm.
where even though we was David,
Yeah.
we had to go face Goliath.
Yes.
Mhm.
And most of the time, when you
Yeah.
face Goliath, you end up beating him,
But
Yeah.
but these
and
kids
he
are-
become your best friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
But these guys are taking the younger generation is taking it so much different. They're wanting to end it, you know,
Yeah.
end people.
Correct,
And
correct.
that's the problem right there is
Yeah.
that we faced it,
Yeah.
we dealt with it, and then we hugged and went on about our business.
But that's why I read the scripture that I read this
Mhm.
morning.
Mhm.
That give purpose to the scripture that I read this morning about having peace. And right now, peace is just out of the window. Nobody even thinking about peace because, like
Yeah.
you saying, there's so much information, so much going
much
on,
going
and your mind is just constantly going.
Going.
The whirly bird never turns off.
Yeah.
And so you don't have no time to be like Bruno Mars and just sit
Bruno
back
Mars.
and relax.
Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah.
I do want to, because I talked about this also on my show
And make
yesterday.
it quick because I ain't heard from JBL over here.
I know. I have to say this though, because
Okay.
I said it yesterday on my show. I did want to push back a little bit on the bullying thing
Mhm, mhm.
because I don't want to victimize the person who did this.
Right.
People get bullied, people get picked on, right? And that's an issue in and of itself. There is a whole anti-bullying movement
Right.
separately. This is coming from hatred.
This is coming from some
These
serious,
people are they're
some
sick and they have hatred in their
Yeah.
hearts. They hate a group of people,
Mhm.
whether it be by race, by gender, by
whatever.
any sort of characterization.
That's
These are
true.
hateful people.
Yes.
Because I've seen the kid that he shot and killed. He couldn't bully anyone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Unalive.
You're right about that.
Unalive. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, unalive.
I got to give him all of them. All right.
I do have a
JB,
couple of thoughts on that.
Go ahead.
I think that a lot of this is a culture problem that is being just made worse and worse and worse by social media, because we're having this conversation right now in what I would consider to be more of a liberal setting. On the conservative side of that conversation on social media, they're talking about this isolated incident is putting fuel on the fire and they're coming for your guns. You got to double down and protect your rights, protect your family. Like, it's a completely different conversation. And
True.
that just keeps getting ramped up and ramped up. And what people like this kid, that, like, they said that he made threats against his school shooting thing a year ago.
A
The
year.
FBI talked to his family. Like,
Yes.
after that happened, his dad bought him an AR-15.
For
That's a
Christmas.
culture problem.
Wow.
For Christmas, yes.
That is somebody who is doubling down on what their tribe is telling them is the right thing to do. Like,
Right.
we have lost the ability to think clearly because we're being led for political gain by people that don't give a damn about you.
Come
That
on
are
now.
right.
ramping you up and filling your head full of all this nonsense so that you'll vote for them because they're going to protect your gun rights. This is a power play by people who don't actually care about the fact that school
Don't care.
shootings are taking place.
Right.
100% agree with you.
I think we, not to prolong this conversation on this piece, but I think we're heading in the right direction finally. We're starting to put the parents in jail that are responsible
Holding
for the
them
kids, and
Right.
that might be
I like
that
that.
might be the key
Right.
to stopping
Right.
some of this stuff.
Yes.
If you feel like a hill,
Because when the FBI, from what I read, allegedly, when the FBI came to visit the father, the home, he said he did not have anything that he had, any guns that he had access to. So he was aware of these threats and what his child was doing. However, Christmas, you gifted your 14-year-old child an assault
weapon.
weapon. That's unbelievable. That's some kind of deranged. That's some kind of
They can't even
sickness.
drive a car yet.
That can't
I
even drive
know.
a car, can't get a license. That makes no sense other than, like you said, it's just,
So dang entitled.
yes,
Mhm.
Right back-
Mm.
right back to the, yes. Wow.